Hey guys, welcome back to part two. We are really excited to talk with Mariana a bit more. But before we move on, if you guys have not yet seen part one, head back to the channel and watch that, and don't miss out on any more information. If you have seen the part one, let's get into this.
Okay, so for all the people who will be watching this and ourselves are mostly students and young adults, full of spirit. So if a student wants
Mm-hmm.
to begin his or her startup journey, like say tomorrow, so what should they do? How can they start?
Tomorrow is amazing. It's very fast, but I'll go just today. I would say if you're a student wanting to start out, I would probably read the Lean Startup, because I think that's like the Bible, of startups. But I wouldn't, as I told you before, I wouldn't learn so much that would prevent me from starting or postponing my starting dates. I would try to find something I'm passionate about, you know it's better if it comes organically, but you can also just brainstorm on like world issues or where I will try to solve. But the best thing, and there's a lot of entrepreneurs that do this, is go in your day, take like a paper and take a pen, and write down what are some things that bother you in the day. You should have, in the end of the day, at least 3 things. So when I first started, I didn't have a lot of ideas, because I was like, okay, I want to create something, but what? And I always felt like I needed to have this, like, this very passionate theme that I should work on. So I would go in my day and so like, okay, I'm annoyed that my water does not come very clean, for example, and I would write it down. And then I was like, I cannot solve the world's water issue, So let that. And then as it went more further, I started getting more ideas that were more feasible. And now, like, every day I'm having new ideas and I'm writing them down. I would write everything that comes in my mind down, ideas. In the end of the day, you should have a list. And then just like get a guide, see like tutorials, see the Lean Startup, and go to people, like buy a landing page on Carrd, for example. Carrd, like CARRD. Do a landing page. One page landing page is like, it's free, or it's like $9, and just start something and start approaching people and start validating. Just honestly, just start doing something. Yeah, that's what I would say.
So
just start.
Yeah, just do it. So any books or YouTubers or anything that you can recommend them to follow, or just themselves?
No, I think there's a lot of good ones, and clearly I think you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I'm sure you all heard this. But when they say 5 people, it's not just your offline people. It's not just your friends and your family. It's also the online people. So the kind of content that you fill your feed with, like your LinkedIn, your Instagram, all those social medias, also impact the way you see life. So obviously I follow a lot of personal development and kind of entrepreneurial kind of people, because I want to raise this. So this is what I would do. And you have some very good ones. So the Lean Startup, it's the Bible. You gotta read it. Then you have the $100 Startup, and you have the Blue Ocean. So more related to entrepreneurship, I would get these 3. And there's a lot of entrepreneurs. One of my favorite YouTubers is Ali Abdal. He's not such like an entrepreneur, but he talks a lot about starting his own business, and a lot of personal development. And I think, as I said before, the base thing of becoming an entrepreneur is already having your mental health, personal development habits, like set. So I would definitely like give a read Atomic Habits. That's my one favorite book. Atomic Habits, and I could give you like an infinite list because I love books. But it's like personal development plus entrepreneurship. Read, but read as like an add-on to you doing,
Yeah, I've been watching your YouTube videos, and the way you talk about mental health is so impressive. Like, you just put your heart out there. It's so nice that you're helping people. And even if it benefits like some of the people out there, it's a really good thing that you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I started my YouTube channel. I think both my YouTube channel, my LinkedIn I think YouTube is more like calm now, because I'm investing a lot in LinkedIn. But my end goal is always to share the journey, and share the journey in the most human and vulnerable way, and not just, look, I've accomplished this. Look, now I started my own company. Look, now I started another company. Now I made like 10,000 friends. That's not the goal. And that's not what I like to see. Because when I admire someone, it's because they do share the journey. And if you know Alan Watts, that's one of my mottos. So enjoy. Life is about the journey. It's not about the destination. And the journey is not just you come here and you go there and then you're successful. The journey has a lot of ups and downs. So I do want to contribute for like an online community that shares more of the vulnerable side of the human condition. So I guess that's my small contribution for it.
That's nice. Mariana, you at this young age, you still have an amazing amount of experience in an entrepreneurial life. Are there any specific mistakes that you ever made, and so that we can learn from them, and like some new entrepreneurs like us could learn?
So the first mistake that is not more of a mistake or a regret, but it's something I will tell everyone if you want to start your own company or your own business, is to start. Like I think I repeated this so many times in this interview, but is to just start. Don't wait to start. Like I waited all my college years, like having good grades and meeting people and learning and waiting for it to be perfect, you know, to have the perfect idea. You're never going to have the perfect idea. You just need to start and things will just start happening from there. So just start, don't wait. That's the first thing. And another thing that I was waiting for was to find a perfect co-founder. Look, I still haven't found it, but I think if you trust enough on the person, you can just start side hustles that can validate whether you want to work with that person or not. And maybe you do, and maybe you don't, you know, so, but you need to validate it. And I also would go to more entrepreneurial kind of events to learn from people that are actually already successful and ask them questions and ask them about their failures. I think that would be it. And I think overall, there's not like a super big mistake I've done because I've never started something so big that I was so passionate about. But I guess at some point I was very in love with the solution that I had for my problems. And you cannot fall in love with solutions. That's a very big mistake. Like you can fall in love with pain points. I'm in love with like the student pain points. Gen Z is figuring out their own lives. This is where I want to have the biggest impact on. And people not being able to find like a purpose, so creating their side hustles. But you should not be in love with a solution that you created for that. You should be aware that if things don't work out, you need to say like, okay, this is the end. Let's start something new. Let's do something different. I think at some point I've done something for so long, then I didn't realize it was not working and I was just pushing the solution so much, but the solution is not the goal. The goal is to solve a problem. Is the issue, is your why. So you need to go around that and you need to be able to let go of something. So don't fall in love with solution, just try, meet more people and don't wait too long to start something in a nutshell.
No idea is perfect. You have to develop it and make it perfect.
Yes, exactly.
So now one of the most important questions that any entrepreneur has, money. How do we raise money for their business?
Cool. That's a big question. And I think, yeah, that's a big question for entrepreneurs. And I think that when you start, you should not be thinking about money. Because nowadays, with all the tools and with all the resources that we have, you can do things for very little money. And if it's something that you get into your life, for example, when I first started Surf the Job, and even when I first started the pancakes business or anything, I didn't have a lot of money, but I was willing to put it the initial investment, which was small, to start that. But clearly there was just small like side hustles, you know. For example, with other things that I'm helping building, sometimes we need more money and we do ask investors for money. And if it's small amounts, they will give you like, let's say 10,000 euros or something that you need. If it's bigger amounts, it means that you want to scale. And if you want to scale, it means that it should already be giving you some sort of return, or the expected returns should already be quantifiable in a way that you could present it to investors and they would believe in your idea. But I think that's the next step. And that's not something that should prevent people from starting from a first point, because all you need is a landing page, honestly. And if you don't have like $10 or $20 a month to invest, then, I mean, you can still do things for free, maybe they're not as good, but you can still do it. So you can do things for so little money that you should not be thinking about money when you start, you know?
A lot of times the freshly graduates don't know anything after graduating. Like, what should they do? Should they take up masters, or should they take up a job, or just do anything? So what would you advise them?
Okay, so that was me 1 year ago, not knowing what I wanted to do, and especially feeling a lot of imposter syndrome because all of my friends were going to masters directly. Because I don't know if it's in all countries, but especially in Portugal, they make you feel like you need to take a master's if you want to get a job. And sometimes you don't know what you want to do with your life. You just finish a business degree and you go directly into college. And I do not think that makes any sense, but that's on my take, because I think a master's is a very expensive thing. And for me, like, I've been financially independent ever since I was 14. So I need to pay for my own things, my own education. And I think a master's is a big investment that I need to think whether it adds value to my life and if there's a specialization that I want to go into. So I would say if you don't know what you want to do, then don't go into a master's. But that's on me. If you just like studying, I do love studying, but like it's not my end goal, then sure, go for a master's. But if you want to figure out, you need to try out things. So for me, when I took my gap year, one of the goals I had, and it's like the opposite goal of what people want, is I would never accept a full-time offer while I still wasn't sure if that was what I wanted to do. Because like, I mean, unless you are jumping roles and sure you can do that, I think you should stay at least 1 year in a company, like 6 months to 1 year, if you just commit to a full-time role. So I was like, I'm going to do internships, freelance jobs, and networking. These three things have given me career direction. So I did internships with NGOs, with startups in different areas like VC and digital marketing, and a bit of like business development as well, like a lot of things. And I was validating as we go whether I wanted to work in big environments, which culture I want to be in, which people do I want to be surrounded with. I think that's a big thing. And it's basically like role, company, culture. It's like the three together, and then country and everything. But the thing that has helped me the most was when I like started optimizing my LinkedIn profile and creating content and networking, because I was sharing like the things I was going through, and I was reaching out to people in the most honest way. I think you need to be very transparent. And I would go like, hey, my name is Mariana. I just graduated. I've seen that you work at Google. I would love to know your path because I still don't know what I want to do. And I would like to better understand what you've been through. So I landed a lot of conversations with people from Google and from like BCGDV and like LinkedIn and Microsoft, like Amazon, like the companies I'm targeting, which is crazy. Like these people, you never think that they will have time to reach out, but they do empathize, So I would tell them something like, look, I'm just figuring things out. I've done 3 internships ever since I graduated already. I have no idea what I want to do. How did you find out? And they would tell you about their path. And most of them, they would tell you the same thing. I was not sure. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I just tried different things and realized, oh, I like this. So now I like this. I want to stay longer. And I think it's the same thing as startups as you should do in your life. Don't commit to like a proper job or a full-time role for like the longest time and stay there forever if it doesn't fulfill you. Like you should be happy in your job, and it should give you the freedom to also be happy outside of it. Like you should be a person and don't live for your job, But if you do decide that you want to work more and you really like want to dedicate your job, it should be something that you like doing with people that you like working with and that you see with characteristics that you would like to have in yourself. So I would say it's just a bit of trial and error, and don't be scared to try different things because the world is like a bag of opportunities, So don't say like, okay, maybe I will stick with this job even though I don't like it because I'm scared of the world. Like, no, just validate, speak with people and go. You need to, I wouldn't say hustle because I don't believe in hustle culture, but you need to be proactive in reaching out to people, in reaching out to like founders. Like you can do job shadowing. I've done this a lot of times. Like You know, it's like you go to someone you admire and you're like, can I spend one day with you and see what you do? Can I help you? I can give you coffee. I don't care. I want to see what you do. Like, there's so many things you can do, but try different things, see different realities before you accept something just for the comfort of it. So just try. This is what I would say. And I know it's very frustrating because I've been there, and it's really hard when you don't have a direction and you feel like you just lost and just doing random things. But like, if you're successful, you're gonna spend successful in being alive, you know? You're gonna spend like 40 years of your life working. So don't accept something just because you're scared. That should not be the goal, because you're gonna regret it later, and you know, it's most of your life. So make it purposefully.
Taking risk and diversifying is very important.
Yeah, and if you can start while you're a student, it's even better.
Right. Learning by self is the best learning way possible, because people can teach you from their experiences, but when it comes to you, I think that would be more impactful and more useful in the future as well. So any growing trends, like in nowadays, especially, we have such a nice generation, the entirely technological generation. So any growing trends that people need to look at as a startup opportunity?
That's very interesting. I think I don't absolutely love answering that question with like a strict answer. I think anything digital that you can optimize, if you do have the skills to do so, I think you should. Like, if you can get to make it better, do it. If you can get a productivity app and like make it better because you want to make it more intuitive, then do it. For sure, those are great opportunities. But I think even though we're like very IT, most people don't have the skill set to like build an app or building a software and make it better. So I would say you do have the toolkit that you need to just start anything. And the most successful thing you can start is something that you're passionate about and that solves a pain point that you have yourself. Otherwise, like if you're solving something that does not matter, like if I would be solving pet sitting issues, because sure, it's cool because I still like creating, but it would not be the thing. And I think if you do, like, for example, you guys are engineers. So if you can see any app and you think you can make it more adapted to something that you're lacking yourself, then I would do it, you know? But in the end, there's like two important things that I've learned, which is there's not just one lunch, you know, because you are like preparing for this super big lunch to make it perfect and you're like wanting to build a perfect app. Like, forget it. The sooner you can launch something and getting into the market like as a beta version, the better, you know, because you can validate from people. So just launch something and then make it better and build cool features and everything. And then I would say just don't build something you're not passionate about and you wouldn't want to take further. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So being a young woman and a wannabe entrepreneur myself, I want to ask you about, firstly, how do you think it is important for women to be financially independent, for our generation and maybe for the other generations as well? And the second thing would be, if there's something that you would want to tell the young girls out there, like a piece of advice or a message or anything.
Okay, so yeah, they are related, not so much, but like, okay. So first thing, I know I've been financially independent from a very young age, and that's not a normal thing, but it has given me a very big sense of independence for myself, and to realize that if I would fail, then I would fail on my own, and I was not taking anyone in the progress. So in the way, and I think that's very contradictory, but that's also how I am and part of my personality, that has allowed me to realize that if I fail, it's just me, you know, I do not have a family. I'm not risking my parents' money. It's my own. So I become more like risk lover because of that, in a way. But at the same time, having to manage my own money and need to paying for accommodation and food and everything gives me respect for money that I don't think you have if you can ask your parents for money anytime you want, and then they don't give, and then you want to do stuff and they don't give you the money. So even like if they're supporting you, great, but I think you need to like have your own freelance gigs, have your own things to gain the independence and to gain like money managing skills from the earlier age that you can, because you become more responsible and more independent. And I think that's just overall important. And the advice I would give to the younger generation, I would like to tell them a lot of things, honestly, but I would say just don't be scared. I think people are way too scared to get out of their comfort zone and to pursue different things and to follow their passions. And like, honestly, sometimes I feel like, follow your passion. What is that? What are you saying? Just another like self-development guru. Like, it's not that. It's mostly, if it doesn't fit you, then let it go. Like, I know so many people that go to 9 to 5s that are actually 9 to midnights, and they are so scared to leaving because the paycheck is good, because it's secure, it's safe, it's stable, because they can stay in their own countries. That's not the goal. If it doesn't make you happy, then let it go. And it's never going to make you 100% happy, and you gotta realize that there's also always ups and downs. But when you realize that you like at least 180% of what you're doing, and you can bear the 20%, then that's your path. If it doesn't feel right, then it's probably not right, and search for something else. And this for anything, for careers, for your hobbies, for your friends, if it doesn't fit you right, if it doesn't feel right, don't be scared of letting it go, because there's probably better things out there for you. So yeah.
That's an amazing
100% agree to that.
That was an amazing message. It was a pleasure talking to you. I hope our viewers have gained some meaningful insights from this interview. At least I know I have. Thank you for taking some time out of your busy schedule and answering our questions.
Of course, it was my pleasure getting to know you, and I look forward to see like this whole put together. And I really like your project, so I hope you keep it going. If you need anything, any help, you can always reach out to me. Mostly on LinkedIn, I'm very active over there. And yeah, I hope to see you guys like growing bigger, because it's really cool that you're doing this already.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Really, we had a lot of fun talking to you, a lot of insights. Thank you so much for your valuable time.
So that is it from our side. I hope that you guys have learned something from this video. We'll link down Mariana's social medias in the description. If you guys have any questions, any suggestions, please comment it down in the comment box. We'll try and communicate it to Mariana and try and answer that. Thank you for watching.